Here's to George, curious little monkey. He's so full of curiosity. Here's to George, the curious little monkey. He's as curious can be.
Curious George bakes a cake. George, said the man with the yellow hat, Jimmy's mother is baking cakes today. How would you like to help her? Of course he would. So George went over to Jimmy's house. You're just in time, said Jimmy's mother. One cake is in the oven, and now I'm making another one. The kitchen was full of delicious smells. On a counter, Jimmy's mother had set out all the things she needed for her baking. There was a can of flour, a box of sugar, 2 dozen eggs in a bowl, 3 sticks of butter, a bag of chocolate bits, and a carton of milk. Near the kitchen sink was a big mixing bowl, and next to it was a strange-looking gadget. What was that for? George was curious. Jimmy's mother had put butter and a cup of sugar into the bowl. Suddenly, she stopped. "Oh, my," she cried. "Where's my necklace? I know I put it on this morning. It's the one my husband gave me for our anniversary. George, please help me look for it." George looked under the sink, and under the table, and behind the fridge. "It isn't here," said Jimmy's mother. "I'll take a look upstairs." Now, George was alone. What was in the bowl? He jumped up and looked in. Then he tasted it. It needed something more. How about some eggs? He took 1 egg and dumped it into the bowl. Then he took another one, and another one, and another one. Soon, all the eggs were gone. What next? How about some milk? Then some flour. And then, best of all, the chocolate bits. George tasted one and threw one in. Another for George and one for the cake. This was good. Now, what about that strange-looking gadget? George was curious. He pushed the red button and stuck the thing into the bowl. It started to go around, slowly first, then faster and faster. The batter grew higher and higher. It spilled out over the bowl, splashed on the counter, all over George and onto the floor. What a mess. When Jimmy's mother came back, she threw her hands up. She was angry. "I don't believe it," she cried. "What have you done?" George was scared. "Get down right now and help me clean up, George." George picked up a broom and started to work. Finally, the kitchen was clean. "It's time to take the other cake out of the oven," said Jimmy's mother. "There," she said. "While the cake cools off, I'll go upstairs and keep looking for my necklace. You stay here and don't get into any more trouble." That cake smelled good. George picked a little piece. Then a bigger one. And then one more. Before he knew it, George had eaten half the cake. But what was that? Something shiny was right in the middle of it. George pulled it out. It was the necklace. He put it on and then ate some more cake. Finally, Jimmy's mother came back. "George," she cried, "what happened to my cake?" "You found my necklace." She gave George a big hug. Just then, the man with the yellow hat came in. "Anything left for me?" he asked. George watched his friend eat his piece of cake. George had had enough for one day. Well, almost.